Yar collecting mateys, and welcome back to the channel. On today's Rebel Scum review, we're taking a closer look at the all-new Nawood figure from the Skeleton Crew. Now, I know I'm a bit behind on this one, as Jod was released right before the show aired in December, but he was as elusive as locating at Atten itself. So, big thanks to Big Bad Toy Store who sent this figure for me to review. Now I finally have a copy in hand, and what a great figure it is. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the card back. As always, the Star Wars logo dons the top of the card, and we get to see the first instance of the Skeleton Crew logo on a VC card back. We have a green name pill and bubble, and a picture of the space pirate himself, Nawood, taken straight from the show. Lastly, we see that classic Kenner logo in the bottom right corner, reminding us that this is in fact the heritage scale of Star Wars action figures. On the back of the card, we see a picture of the figure out of its packaging, as well as a short blurb about the character, the Vintage Collection logo, and lastly, this is VC number 310. My first impressions of this figure are positive, as I was originally a bit worried about his jacket potentially hindering his posability, but after having him in hand and seeing how the jacket splits up the side and back, I can tell posing him will be a breeze. Starting off with the head sculpt, I think Hasbro did a great job with the likeness to Jude Law. My only complaint will be the skin tone is a bit different between his face and neck. See what I mean there? It's not terribly noticeable, but it still kind of bothers me. Other than that, the hairline looks spot on with Jude, as does the coloring, and you can see some light facial hair stubble that is also a nice touch. It also comes with a plastic headscarf that slips on and off pretty easily, and is easy to pop on and make look good pretty instantly. Moving on down to his jacket, we see some nice paint detailing on his jacket cuffs and jacket pocket. The jacket itself is smooth on the outside, replicating its look from the show, but the inside of the jacket has a light checkerboard pattern with a slightly lighter maroon coloring around the collar to help differentiate and makes the collar stand out a little bit more on the figure. The jacket also has some buckles up the side there that are unpainted, but it's kind of hard to see them, so I'll let that slide. His shirt is a deep gray V-neck with his arms being painted the same color as the jacket. That said, I guess the jacket is technically removable, as you can see if you look real close here, but I can't say that I would recommend doing that on account of just how goofy he would look without the jacket on. He has a holster around his waist that his blaster can easily slide inside. And if you move the holster up just a little bit, you can see a little silver paint app on his belt buckle, which is a nice little touch, even though honestly most of the time you can't really see it. Maybe they should have used that paint on these buttons right here, the buckles. Oh well, anyway. And that pretty much sums it up for paint apps, but hopefully his newly tooled legs and high top boots can be used on a handful of upcoming additions to the Vintage Collection. What's a possible figure that comes to mind? Let us know in the comments. As far as articulation is concerned, this is another example of just how amazing a fully articulated 3 3/4 figure can be. We start off with a bit of a lackluster double ball jointed head. It doesn't really move how you might imagine. It basically just swivels back and forth, and you can kind of feel the double ball joint in there. But it doesn't really give enough to alter the head position all that much, other than very basic tilts, which actually even that is kind of difficult, but it does left and right pretty easily, which is mostly what you need, but there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of looking up at the sky. Luckily, every other articulation point on this figure is fully up to par. His arms have a great range of motion with ball jointed shoulders. His elbow bends well past 90 degrees, making for more natural posing. And his wrists rotate, and they do have a hinge, but as you can see, the cuff is so big on his jacket that it's really hard to tweak that hinge right there. Thankfully, it's not too much of a problem, because usually he's just holding a blaster. But still, just a minor gripe. Moving on down to his legs, of course he has the new style barbell hips, swivel thighs. He has great knee articulation that bends pretty much to 90 and will allow him to have a nice fully seated pose. You'll just have to tuck his jacket up under him a little bit. And of course, he has the classic rocker ankles. Also, have a nice little hinge here. And with that, we've seen just about all there is to see of the Jod and Nawood Vintage Collection figure from the Skeleton Crew. I must say, I am overall very impressed with yet another recent addition to the Vintage Collection. Minus a handful of very minor issues, Hasbro has hit another home run and have most assuredly done Jude Law proud. Now, if only we could get Neil, Brutus, SM33, and the whole Skeleton Crew added to TVC. Heck, most of those names were on the SWTVC March Madness bracket this year. Just saying, Hasbro. Anyway, thanks for tuning in for another Rebel Scum review. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to both Rebel Scum and Turntable to the Dark Side today. What do you think of the new figure? Did you enjoy the Skeleton Crew? Let us know in the comments, and until our next review, may the Force be with you.